start thinking, why is this here? The burnt spoons goes to the same thing as they put the little bit of air in there, put a little bit of water, they heat it up, put it in their syringe, and they inject it. What they use large rubber bands for, or belts, is to tie up their arms so they get good pain. Put it in. So you'll see what they call a hypo kit or a hypodermic kit. It'll have your needle, it'll have your spoon, have a little bit of cotton balls, and it'll have some type of rubber that they can put around. And they usually will always keep that all together because they need all those things to ingest their heroin. When we talk about chasing the dragon, the other common form is smoking. This is getting more prevalent with our young kids because they're afraid of needles. They absolutely hate needles, just like me. So what they'll do is they'll go into your kitchen, they'll grab a nice piece of tin foil, and they'll put the glitter on the tin foil, light it up, and once it heats up, it starts to melt. And what it does is it zigzags all over the tin foil, that slippery slope. So finds anything they can use to inhale the fumes. The most common things you'll see are your pens that you have at home. They'll take off each end of it, take it all up. It's nice and hard, so it won't break. They'll put it in their mouth, and as they're heating up their glitter and it's going around, they'll smoke up the fumes for that pen. So if you start seeing pieces of your pens missing, or the inks over here and the caps over here, start thinking, if your kids are acting up with shady friends, why is this like this? If you start noticing your foil missing, and you start looking at your foil and it has black zigzag lines all over it. And the reason why they call it chasing the dragon is because the dragon, that's what the dragon does, right? It makes big old weird swoops all over the place. Kids call it chasing the dragon. You see little foil balls around your kid's room. Why they're not throwing a gun in it or anything? You start asking yourself, why does my kids or their friends have little foil balls? It's very easy to throw your heroin in it, throw it up, and discard it as trash. And us cops on the street, we miss it all the time. It's a very good form of concealing what they're actually really doing. On the upper left, that's kind of an example of your hypodermic kit. Usually heroin will come in tin foil because it's really sticky, and the tin foil, it won't stick to the tin foil as well. Your spoons, in between the spoon and the foil, you have your smoking device. Example of your needle, right? Things to look for when your teenagers or your friends are on heroin. They'll look like they're drunk. They're very sluggish, very sleepy, very heavy eyelids. Their skin over time will start to turn yellow. Obvious needle marks on their arms if they're using needles. And heroin, the high is only about 5 to 20 minutes, so it's not very long. Heroin's pretty cheap these days, and it's very easy to get a hold of. So it's a very desired high. So they're going to constantly, if your kids are very depressed about certain situations, heroin's a big drug for them to use. Also, see, we'll talk about marijuana. This is bread and butter. No pun intended.
Just to introduce myself real quick, my name is Austin Cease. I've worked in narcotics unit for about a year and a half now. I do have 5 years on as a police officer, and just like Officer Lang, been involved with multiple drug arrests, written search warrants. I've actually done over 20 undercover buys in narcotics. So, and just like him, I can testify have access to it. It's prevalent out there, and there's no doubt that some of you tried it probably back in the day, or your kids right now are being offered it at school, at a party, after school, wherever it's at. So it's around, and it's unfortunately marijuana has turned into a parental decision. It's no longer the cops can decide who can smoke it and who can't. It's turned into a parent decides whether their child is going to go down the medical marijuana path when they turn 18, or they're going to avoid it and try to do the best they can. Most of the common names, I'm sure was heard: blunt, dope, ganja grass, Mary Jane, pot, reefer. It's all names that you can listen to any rap song or any popular culture and get to hear. There's two types of marijuana. There's outdoor and indoor grown marijuana. Indoor grown marijuana is called hydroponic marijuana. What you'll notice is out here, it's almost all the marijuana that is being sold on the street and in the medical marijuana storefronts is hydroponic marijuana, which is indoor grown. What this indoor grown marijuana is your neighbor that you're like, I don't ever see this neighbor. I never see this neighbor that comes here. Some guy comes once a week, some guy comes twice a week, mows the lawn, takes trash out, but we don't ever see anybody there. It's because a lot of houses are being converted into indoor marijuana grows. So what they're doing is they're taking 2 or 3 rooms, turning them into complete grow operations where in order to grow marijuana, you have to have specific stages. And high-grade indoor grown marijuana will sell between, for 1 pound of it, which you can usually get about, I would say anywhere from half a pound to 3 pounds per plant of indoor grown marijuana. High grade will sell for about $3,500 to $4,000 out of medical marijuana dispensary. So what these people are doing is it's big money, there's no doubt about it. And they're taking nice houses just like up there in Hunter's Ridge, northern Rancho Cucamonga, Upland, and they're taking these nice houses because the neighbors really don't pay attention, turning them into indoor grows, and that's where most of the weed for Southern California and the Central Midwest come. It's all coming from indoor grown. Outdoor grown marijuana is more Northern California because they're more spread out, Humboldt, that area where they kind of grow their marijuana outdoors and they don't really ship it down here because everybody's trying to get the good hydroponic marijuana. Marijuana now is completely different than the 60s and 70s when everybody kind of thinks of, the fun-loving, hippie marijuana people. But weed back in the 60s and 70s had a THC rate of usually, which THC is the psychoactive drug in marijuana, which causes the high. It gives them either the hallucinations, the downfall, the relaxed kind of chill. And back in the 60s and 70s, it used to run about 6 to 7%. Indoor hydroponic marijuana now is up to 28%. So it's completely different than maybe some of you tried way back in the day. So that's where people kind of turn marijuana into not that big a deal when actually it is. There's 3 types, and I know everybody thinks that marijuana can chill and bring you down, and that's the indica, but a sativa will actually shoot you up. It causes you to be kind of like a stimulant where it brings you up, you're awake, you're excited, you're moving. And they've actually learned now, botanists have created a mixture of the hybrid where it gives you cool. So it kind of keeps you flatline where you're, get up, not too down, so you can just kind of stay where you're level, but you still get the high that you're looking for. Marijuana science, raw meat, bloodshot water eyes. Marijuana literally smells, most of it smells stinky. And that's where that term comes from. It's a real nasty smell. It's very distinctive. If you smelled it before, you know it does smell like. So those are some of the things to look for, especially if your kids are coming home smelling like it. If you're at a party, driving around with somebody that's smoking, and it's one of those problems. these are all your typical ways to ingest marijuana. It's you either got the marijuana pipes, which a lot of them are, the bong. Not a lot of kids use the bong anymore just because it's, you know, it's big. People can see it, parents see it. So, and those are your two type of pipes. The other thing you want to look for are Swisher Sweet and Black and Mild roller papers, cigarettes. The way that because what they do is they grind up the marijuana and a little leafy grainy type thing. They cut the Black and Mild, Swisher Sweets out, and they put it in there and they smoke it in there. It's all it is, just another form of marijuana. You can buy those at any head shop, anything like that, especially made out of marijuana papers, which are great flavor, cherry flavor, watermelon, any sort of flavor you can think of. Same with the marijuana. You've heard all the goofy names, Sweet Snacks, Purple Kush, Strawberry Love, all of those. It's because the marijuana literally smells like that. They've gotten so good at that they turned marijuana into a it smells good, yeah. It's not that old smoky personal. The synthetic marijuana is what we're seeing. It's what we're seeing with kids because kids under the age of 18, you can't get a medical marijuana card or medical marijuana recommendation to buy it. So they use a synthetic marijuana. Anybody can buy synthetic marijuana, which K2 price are the two big ones. And all synthetic marijuana is, it's marijuana that was made from a chemical and not from another plant. It's really easy to make. It's sold as an incense. So you could go, like I said, you could go into a head shop, a gas station, anything like that. And the only way that these companies are getting away with it is it'll say not for human ingestion. But everybody who buys it knows, oh, I can put it in a roller paper smoke, it does the same thing that weed does. And you don't test positive for a drug test of weed if you're smoking this stuff. Literally all this stuff is I think it's called the Padilla plant. It's a different type of incense plant. Grind it up, you spray it with a couple chemicals that you can mix up, you can buy on the internet, and then you got your weed. So this is the same thing. I'm sure you guys have heard of bath salts. Synthetic marijuana bath salts are kind of coming up because you can buy them on the internet, and these companies are selling it just saying, well, we didn't intend for them to smoke it. Yeah, but that's what they were using it for. So that's where everything is happening on now. Medical marijuana, like I said, it's a parental decision. You're going to have to talk to your own kids. You're going to have to tell them, what path you want to go down. Yeah, it's really easy to get one. I got one. I went to a medical marijuana doctor. I was in the office for less than a bit, and she wrote me her information. So it's a complete scam, and the medical marijuana dispensary owners are making hand over fist. They're supposed to be nonprofit organizations. So now we're going to head into cocaine. It's a party drug meant for, I don't know if you can see this a lot with high schoolers, middle schoolers, you'll see it with your young college students. Cocaine, I'm sure everybody remembers the 80s and the big cocaine rage and what was going on. It's still big, but it's just a party drug more of. It's the same thing as that. It's a stimulant, attacks the central nervous system, shoots your way up, so you can stay up longer, party hard, keep going, and out, coming back down. It's got the same thing. Once you'll see the depression mainly when they're coming down from their high, because your cocaine high is so good, and you run out there, you love life, everything's going great. So the high starts to come down, but you'll see the depression. Seizures, respiratory failure, comes with any sort of drug that you need. Crack and rock cocaine. Don't see a whole lot of it anymore. It's still out there. Basically with crack and rock cocaine, you take regular cocaine, cook it with baking soda, and it turns it hard. Now, so addictive that their body's attached to it and keep every 20 minutes, every 40 minutes. You also start to shut down. Cocaine is usually smoked, injected, not really. It's out there though. And just like any drug, you can heat it up and turn it into a liquid form and inject it. It's mostly smoked. What they call pick-me-ups, it's just a small amount of cocaine that you can usually just snort really quick and kind of keep you going. Same thing with the things that look like razor blades. Same thing with the mirrors that line it up, just like I'm sure some of you have seen in the movies, Scarface, things like that. You line up the drugs and then they swim it. Straws, hollow out pens, empty, any sort of empty tubular thing that they can use to control the narcotics as it goes up. This video is just some facts, recent facts about cocaine. So the other thing I just wanted to go over, things that were like I said, cocaine is a stimulant, so you're running into hyperactivity. You run into them being up later, and dilated pupils, especially people with blue eyes. That pupil is really big, and you can really tell when they're under the influence. Eyes that are overly sensitive to light. That just comes with doing the drug because they've been out for so long and they're having a problem adjusting to the light. Drug we're going to cover is prescription pills. And prescription pills goes back to heroin because, like also Lang says, we're seeing a lot of younger kids as far as 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds addicted to heroin because they started out on mom and dad's prescription pills. Prescription pills are probably our biggest problem for high schoolers because they have access to them. Mom and dad have back surgery, mom and dad has some legitimate ailment that they need hydrocodone, Vicodin, Oxycontin. One of the big prescription narcotics that are out there. And unfortunately, these kids know about it, friends talk about it, and they know that if they take 2 Vicodins, go to a party, drink 1 beer, they'll cruise the whole night. And they'll be feeling good, get their high going, and they'll really understand why the prescription pills are so prevalent as kids because they have access to them. A lot of them don't know, well, know weed dealer, but they don't know meth dealer, they don't know heroin dealer, they don't know coke dealer, but their prescription pill dealer is right upstairs in mom and dad's medicine cabinet. children here and there. It's become a problem because it is so prevalent. Like marijuana and prescription pills is our next biggest problem because parents just assume, oh, I can trust them, I can trust them. Peer pressure gets to these kids. And if they can get to a couple of Vicodin, a couple of Oxys before a party on Friday night, then they will enjoy everything that comes along with it. So, these are just some websites that you guys want to check out. Any of the information that's out there. Quick content videos folder on there. If you have any problems, questions, you can access one of us that we will transfer you to our office. Any questions you guys have, please feel free.
Is there any questions about things that you think your teenagers or their friends might be doing? Any questions on how our unit actually works? Certain stories or things of what we do for you guys out there?
Okay, bath salts are not your, they're not like the bath salts you can buy in the grocery store. Bath salts they were created by chemists. Honestly, there's 64 different chemical combinations of bath salts. Here in our city, we have, I think we just put together a city code to ban the sale of bath salts because smoke shops and stuff use it.
Bath salts.
And bath salts, it's really hard to explain the chemical combination, but it's like methamphetamine synthesis. So what you're doing is it's causing it's a central nervous system stimulant that skyrockets something. That's why when you see people on bath salts, you notice they'll be strict because the body temperature is so high continuously. So, and bath salts are illegal in California. It's only illegal to sell them for California state law, and it's only in the state. So, bath salts are out there. A lot of people are taking them because of all the stories that they've heard regarding, the Miami zombie, and other stuff that's out there. So, there's not a lot being sold, but if they are out there, they are available. It looks like that. It looks like cocaine. And it's sold in small capsules like that big. And that's about what it is.
If you guys see any suspicious activity in your neighborhood, please don't be afraid to call our inspection number at the bottom. And they shoot us emails right away, or they'll shoot us a call card, and we definitely investigate. We will definitely look into it and definitely make a visit and say hi.
Can you tell us a little bit about our neighborhood?
This Hunter's Ridge is not very active in drug sales. We don't get a lot of complaints about people selling drugs. I would say in the past 3 years that I've been working our products, I've probably visited 10 houses that they're selling drugs at. It's mostly your younger teenagers, early 20s, and stuff like that. It's definitely not like Center City or down south. It's more prevalent. Honestly, it's pretty quiet out here. We don't get a lot of complaints. Don't see a lot of, we follow drug dealers all around to see what they do. We hardly ever. The only thing we usually see a lot of here in Sierra Lakes is what I was going to say